Okay, I've pulled out some of the metallic pens. I have a pretty good assortment, and these usually aren't waterproof, but I don't know that that's necessary for this anyway. So I'm just going to start pulling pens out and practicing or doodling or scribbling, whatever. Just having some therapy. It's a pretty cold day out there. I know there's areas that are much colder than here, but we haven't been much above freezing for seems like quite a while now. And it's not too bad when the sun's shining, but it's fairly gray today, so it's nice to have these lights. I have several of these full spectrum lamps. I have 3 that are identical to each other that I got 2 of them on a buy one get one free sale, and then a friend was getting rid of the ones that she had, and I have 3 now. And I thought, it'd be nice to just be able to switch them on all at once, and so I went out and got a power strip that has a switch on it, and so now I can just turn them all on at once, and I haven't used it very much. I set it up not too long ago, and this is really nice on such a gray day to just be able to switch those on and sit here and draw. So these are just metallic gel pens, Jelly Roll metallic it says on there. And if you like, you're welcome to sit down and draw something out really meticulously and do a realistic butterfly, or you can just sit and kind of doodle it out there. Instead of stressing about being perfect or just so, it's kind of nice just to start putting color down. In whatever order or pattern that you enjoy. And like most artwork or any kind of drawing or painting I've done, there really is this point when you start that it just doesn't look like much. Let's see, what do I have here? Millennium. Okay. And so this isn't any really different in that way from any other artwork. At first it just doesn't look like much, but as you fill in the details and the shadows and the highlights, what have you, it starts to shape up or not. Sometimes things just don't go the way they plan. If you're anything like me, I will have an idea in my head of how I want the artwork to go. And getting it from the thought process, it seems like down my arm, and through my hand and fingers onto the paper. Oh yeah, this is the Bic Intensity Sunset Orange. That's a lot nicer than that one I was just using. It puts down a real good solid and tense color, and it moves smoothly. I like how easily they move across the paper. It's nice to use. See, I have a rambunctious red. Everybody should have rambunctious red, right? Oh yeah, that looks a lot nicer, a lot less work too to get that onto the paper. Now, one of the reasons I like watercolor so much is it blends. So I have to get used to, with these markers, they don't quite blend the same way that paint would, especially the watercolor. So I just have to keep that in mind. You can see I'm working on a rainbow here. And yellow never seems to show up very much, so I'll just do a little thicker band of that. What kind of green? Forest green? That might be a little too dark. What other green do I have? A forever green. Ooh, well, got to try that out, right? And I do have scraps of tester papers that I could have tried that out on. But I didn't. Deep sea blue. I think I'll save that for the next. Blue skies blue. Let's try this blue. It's still darker than I expected. But that'll work. And then I'll bring in this one. It's not quite as centered as I would have liked, but that's okay. I don't think there's any doodle police that are gonna give me trouble for that. And now a purple. What do we have here? Plum-tastic purple. We could hardly go wrong with a plum-tastic purple, could you? There, that's fun. Well, I have a little open space in that section. What kind of blue? Hot aqua? I want a really pale blue so it looks like a sky. Maybe I'll do, what do we have here? Oh, those are calligraphy, metallic calligraphy. I wonder what'll happen with that. It's kind of neat. I get a lot of metallic off of it though. And this is the wider end. It seems a little darker. I suspect it's probably drying out. These are a few years old. But I actually am liking the effect I'm getting from that. What do you think? Do you have metallic pens and paints? They're kind of fun. Okay, so what shall I do next? I think I'll take some silver. That seems to shine pretty well. And I'm going to define this circle a little better. It's going to be kind of rough. I just want to define that a little bit more before I fill up the next 3 sections. I think these I'll move over here, and I think what I want to do is take these metallic jelly rolls and go over what I just did with the marker. I think the marker's probably dried enough. That's not going to cause any problem for the jelly roll pen. Just kind of get some metallic. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, I like that. What do you think? Do you like metallics? It seems like these gray days call for some sparkle. Sometimes the gold metallics can be a little dark, which it looks like it might be a little dark on that yellow. I don't know. Can't see anything coming out on this one. Get not as generous as that other ones I've been using. Don't really have a red metallic. I'll go over with the pink a little bit. Not too much, just enough to give it a similar sort of shade. And so now, for whatever reason, I'll go back to the Sharpie here, feeling like I want to do this. That's the nice thing about doodling. There's no real hard, fast rule about you do it this way or that way. I wonder, do I want to do the same thing on this side, or is that going to be too matchy-matchy? And I do yes, I'll do that. I don't want it to be too perfect, because I don't know, that just seems weird sometimes. Almost looks like sound waves or something coming out of it. And then I can, what do I want to do here? I think I really like the looks of this purple one. Let's see what happens here. There, you almost have to go completely vertical with this one. So I may just end up repeating or echoing the rainbow colors, it looks like. I kind of like that idea. What do you think? Do you ever just sit down and do some scribble doodling and you really don't know what you're going to do to start with, but it develops as you go? And sometimes it's just fun to see what comes out of it. And you might be surprised at how much you like whatever you end up with. And sometimes you just crumble it up and throw it away. It's okay. It's just a little bit of paper and a little bit of ink, so it's fine. Oh, that's not showing up as much as I would like. Might go over it just a little more closely together so it shows up more. I think that's one of the things I enjoy about something in art that I really like. If I take notice of it, I think often it turns out to be because of the contrast. I like the higher contrast things, light and shadow. Let's see, how about we just do this one too? Yeah, I like that next to the gold. That's pretty. So what kind of weather are you having where you're at? We're in Colorado, so we get Colorado weather, mountains. We're in a high desert area, and we don't usually have a lot of cold, but the last few weeks it's been on the chilly side. But we usually have a lot of sunny days. Well, that's kind of fun looking. I'll come back with, what shall I use? Ooh, here's one I don't think I've used yet. Let's see what it does. It's kind of a fun one. All right, what would you say I should do for this bottom section? Maybe some flowers? Just some scribble doodle flowers. How's that? Nothing fancy or precise, just scribblies. And that's the pink. I want to come back with the purple now. And so here again, when you go over, that was, I would say, a lighter color. So I'm going to go over that with some of this darker color. And you get, again, the contrast. You get the shadow and light effect. Gives you a little bit more dimension. It's not quite so flat. And then I guess I'll come back in with green. And you know what? Instead of doing metallic, because I want those flowers to stand out, think I'll do this. These are one of my favorites, these Stabilo pens. I really like how smooth and nice they have this pretty nice felt tip point. And try to come in on the center for the stems attached. And it just kind of glides over the paper. It's pretty pleasant to use. And these are not waterproof. I wonder if they've come up with any that are. And I had tried these. I worked at the Artist's Haven for a while and really, really enjoyed these when I tried them out, until I tried to watercolor over them and they bled like crazy. So I didn't get very many more of them, but I really enjoy using them. They have quite a nice range of colors as well. I think in the background area for this part, I'm going to come back with a light blue colored pencil, or light green maybe, something that'll, probably a bluish green, huh? Something that'll kind of fade to the back. Let's see, where's... I think I'll try these. These Progresso woodless colored pencils are so nice. So I guess we can call this a mixed media, right? We have markers, metallic, gel pens, colored pencil. And so now that I've gone over that, that reduces the amount of white that's showing through, which was, to my eye, it felt like it was competing with what else I had going on there. So I'm, in a way, erasing some of that white, which I think, no, I don't want to do it with that one, but that'll work. I wonder if that'll reduce the amount of the metallic that shows through, though. I don't want to lose the metallic, but I want to bring down the amount of white showing through. So maybe if I just do the edges and big areas that are, there we go. I think I like how that works. Oh, and another thing too is you can give the effect, if I come in here and do that a little deeper, I could use a deeper blue to start with, and you give that shadow edge effect here. And that also will give you some more dimension. Could be better with a darker green. Let's see what I can find. Ooh, here's a really yellow green. That's really bright. Kind of like that. I think I'll come in here and do some of that here as well. One thing about using, especially with the greens, a lot of different shades of green, because boy, you look at nature, the trees, the leaves, grass, any of those greens, there is such a wide variety of greens. It is just amazing when you really take a good look at it. And so when you bring that into whatever art you're doing, I would say use at least 2 or 3 shades of green to give some dimension and interest and just a neat effect. Looks like I have several types of metallic. Sometimes they just don't come out. That one doesn't seem to be giving us much. Let's see. Sometimes you can shake them and get a little bit of better flow. There we go. I think this one gives better. So now I'm just going in and fine-tuning some of the details that catch my eye. I think I would like a little bit more definition going here. I ended up giving my attention out here. I think it looks to me like the butterfly needs some pink. And so again, we had white showing through quite a bit, but now I'm covering a lot of that up with the pink, and it gives now more of a smoother effect. I think it's blending a little bit with the other colors I had in there. Kind of like that. What do you think? And so again, what about, we had this one that was really neat. Let's try that in here. Define some of those edges a little bit more. And again, cover up some more of that white. I had altogether more white showing through from the paper than I really needed. And I don't typically use a white paint. I will with the ink, though. These white jelly roll gel pens can give you some really neat effects. But in this case, I don't know, let's do this. Give it a little bit more of a organized feeling instead of quite so chaotic. I think I was getting a little carried away there with that. Should I put some gold? I feel like I want some gold lines in there too. So it sort of looks like a light burst that way, doesn't it? Oh, I think I'm liking how that turned out. I do want to add a little bit more purple here. Oh, I guess that's actually the pink I picked up, isn't it? That seems to be a neat effect going over the purple with that pink. And so here's the tricky part, and you may notice this for yourselves too, is when do you stop? When is it done? And that may just be something that you learn as you go, or you don't. I have done far too much on some things and learned too late that, oops, I should have stopped a while ago. And I certainly have been around other artists that have done that themselves. And I know I joked on one of my videos that if you're lucky enough to have someone around that's keeping an eye on what you're doing and take it away from you before you go too far, that could be useful. I suppose it could be frustrating and stir up some problems too, but that might be the universal challenge for artists everywhere, is to know when to stop. When is it good enough? And I don't know about you guys, but when I start to really like what I've made, I start to get more concerned about messing it up. And so then I'm afraid to go any further also. Instead of overdoing, I'm underdoing. So I suppose, like everything else, the trick is finding the right balance. I think I'm just about there. What do y'all think? I think I'm liking it. I think I might list this one on eBay and see if anybody's interested in it. There's a really good group on eBay for these ACEOs. Well, do you see anything else that you think ought to be done on here? I kind of feel like I want to add some more here, kind of round out that a little bit more. Felt like it got kind of shaggy right there. Yeah, I think I'll call that good. What do you think? What shall I call it? Rainbow butterfly? Sound wave? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bless.